think it's upside down. Yeah, this is gonna be upside down. So today I'm gonna be painting this this portrait that I drew yesterday as a part of my character design process. And I'm gonna be using gouache. I thought about doing like a update to the one that I did on like my first. Yeah, sorry the screen is upside down, by the way. It's the only way it could come out like well lit. But yeah, I'll be painting this one with gouache today. While I wait for my cat to come back because he went outside and I think it's been like an hour. So a little bit of my like setup for when I'm painting. Usually I'm painting outside of my house, so I'll have like my set with my trapple kit or whatever. Not like how I'm setting it up right now, but I'll have the travel brush, which I am gonna try to use today. But I am using like an actual brush. I do prefer to use actual brushes, but the travel brush is a lot more, yeah, that sounded weird. It's much more convenient. I usually set it up by attaching the palette like somewhere in my sketchbook. I try to make sure it's not covering whatever I'm gonna paint, but sometimes it is, but that's okay. So I usually use a bigger clip, but I don't have a bigger clip today, so I'm gonna use what I have, which is this teeny tiny one. And then I'll just clip it to my sketchbook like that. And bam, we have our art set up, or thing set up. I mentioned yesterday that I'll be trying to speak Japanese today, but we will see because usually I don't initiate the conversation, someone else does. So all I do is just say yes or no, or I don't understand whenever I'm speaking Japanese. And sometimes they'll like say it a little bit slower. I think if I start out the conversation speaking Japanese, then they'll just assume that I'm fluent, which I'm not. So I make sure to tell people like, I can understand a little bit, but not a lot. And then for the most part, people will kind of like work with me. I don't think I've ever had it where people would like completely shun me or anything, but I do feel like it's an inconvenience, so I try not to put other people in that situation. However, it has gotten a lot better over the years where I can feel a little bit more confident initiating conversations in Japanese. But whenever anyone asks me like, oh, can you speak I'll just say no. Just because I can't. I seriously can't. I'm not just saying it just because. I'm saying it because it's true. So yeah, I'm painting this girl from yesterday. I talked a little bit about her story and I forgot most of it, but I put some notes on the other side of the page. So she likes to read. She likes to write because she loves to read. She likes to be on her phone. Oh, and she's kind of like a 90s girl. That's like her vibe. Yeah, that's pretty much it. She's not, well, she considered my OC. I don't know if I consider her an OC, I guess. But I guess she would be. I have no idea what her name is. So if anyone has a great name for her, that would be amazing. But I was saying she's kind of like very honest, outspoken type of person, you know, stands up for herself and other people. What else? You know, this type of person. Oh, I didn't mix enough pigment. Oh no. Oh, I'm supposed to be talking about painting. Yeah, so she is a it girl, but she's not like full of herself type of it girl. She's empathetic, but not to like a horrifyingly gross degree where she neglects herself. She's not a super people pleaser. Yeah, this is who I'm drawing. I have no idea what her name is, but I feel like she should have a name, and I'm doing her a disservice by not giving her one. But it's okay. Hopefully someone will help me name her. So I like to do kind of like a base coat, oh my god, a base color. It doesn't have to be perfect, and actually it's usually not perfect. I just kind of want to get the idea of her skin tone down, and then I'll probably end up covering up later. But about painting, I wanted to talk a bit about painting. I started painting a very long time ago, but I wasn't like obsessed with the idea of mastering it or like being really good at it. So I just kind of like dabbled in it in terms of like technique and things like that. I didn't really practice any of that. I was just coloring basically like I'm doing now. But I've honestly gotten a lot better at using gouache. I think it's just kind of like a very easy medium to use because it's so opaque. So that's why I use it. But that's why I like it. I like watercolor too, but I'm not a huge fan of the rim around like the colors sometimes. I'm pretty sure you can get rid of that with like practice, but yeah, I don't have time for that right now. Maybe later I'll actually learn how to use it. I was always a fan of people that paint. I love watching paint videos and like, you know, artist painting and things like that. They make it look so easy. but it is not. I do see people kind of like, I'm not trying to like shit on other artists, but I do see people that paint, but like not like technically paint, if that makes sense, which is kind of like a bit of what I described earlier, which is just kind of like putting the color on the paper. They're basically just coloring the canvas. I'm not a huge fan of that style of painting, um, but I'm not gonna knock anyone who does it. I'm just not a fan. I just think that you have to, you know, be more conscious of how you're putting the paint on the canvas. And this is not to say those people should stop, they're horrible artists, blah blah blah. Like, no, it's just that visually for me, I like watching painters kind of like play around with color and, um, you know, execute their technique if they've, you know, been at it for a while. But sometimes, I don't know if you aware, I don't know if you, but if people are aware of kind of like paint and sip, that's what some artists kind of remind me of. Like, you know, they give you this outline where you're just kind of like filling it in. Yeah, I think it could be executed better than like a lot of ways that it is being used. It doesn't always have to be like, oh, follow this way, blah blah. But um, I don't know, just all kind of seems like, I'm feeling this. I drew the outline, I'm filling it in, like, which is cool. I like that technique for markers, mostly markers, like any type of markers, acrylic markers, maybe even color pencils. But I feel like for, if you're not gonna use it as a mixed media painting, and you're just kind of like, you know, filling it in and outlining it, then it's like, yeah, I think it's fine if you are starting out. But if you do it like the whole time with no like change to your technique, or like some type of stand out ish technique, then it's like, you know, are you improving? You know, are you interested about, you know, improving and like developing your own technique? I don't know. I'm just yapping. Uh, anyway, so what I'm doing now is painting her hair, which goes a lot further down than how I'm painting it. It is all over the place because I'm trying to think if I want to do like a ombre or like a fiery red, or um, maybe a pink or something. Because I'm liking how all the colors look. But I really like, I want to say this section. Yeah, I keep thinking about it. Her eyes will be brown. Just because I think brown is such a nice color. I'm trying to make them golden brown. So I actually mentioned last time that I was gonna speak Japanese. I was talking to my nephew earlier, and he kept asking me like, "Oh, how do you say this and that in Japanese?" And I was like, "I don't know how you say any of that in Japanese, actually." So I started looking it up. I'm like, "Oh, he's asking what it is," and I'm like trying to type it in really fast. Like, "Oh, how do you say this and this?" And then I was like, I thought to myself like, I hope he doesn't grow up thinking like, oh, my auntie is fluent in Japanese. Like, no, I'm looking this stuff up. He is, how old is he? I think he's 8. Oh my god, I keep forgetting his age. He's 8, I think. I'm pretty sure he's 8 right now. So maybe he'll forget. But I thought to myself like, oh, maybe I should actually start like trying to learn Japanese more so I can like use it like everyday conversation, stuff like that. I mean, I don't think that I need to use oh crap, I ran out of water. I'm not gonna say I don't need to use Japanese. I do, but a lot of the times I can get through kind of like daily interactions without using it at all. And this is to say, like, my baseline Japanese skills are there. It's just that if I want to have like more in-depth conversations and, you know, with other people and like actually understand what they're saying and have them understand what I'm saying, then it'll be super helpful if I learned more of the language. I've gone through phases where I was like learning. I went to language schools for like a few weeks. It wasn't even that long. I think it was maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. I've you know, been a part of programs with my community of like learning the language and things like that. And because of life and other priorities, it just, you know, kind of took the back burner. So yeah, it would be super helpful to like get back into it, like actively start to learn more. Not just by like watching TV, which is pretty much how I learned it, is by watching Japanese daytime television or those super crazy TV shows, the game shows. But yeah, there is a lot to be desired in that area. I think that I want to start doing live streams outside, not just in my house, but like actively going outside and streaming out there. It was a few months ago where me and like a few friends were at a flower, I think it was like a flower park. I want to say something flower park. And we were just sitting there, like, I was like, oh man, I really want to like sit and paint in this area. And so one of the girls went over and she sat down and she like became our model. And we were me and another girl were just sitting there painting her, while my other friend was like just reading um, by the tree. And so people would come by and they're like, look at us drawing, like, to see our progress and everything. And they're like, oh, this is nice, this is really cool, blah blah blah. I personally don't like that type of attention, but I am aware that I need to get over it and put myself out there more in those type of situations, even if it makes me like super uncomfortable. Just as long as nobody gets like super handsy or anything, we should be good. But so far it's been like super chill, nothing crazy. But yeah, I do want to do stuff like that where I'm just kind of out and about and I start painting. Another reason that I want to do this, I just took a super deep breath, is because I have been trying it lately, like every now and then, but I just need to get better at drawing faster. Whenever I'm streaming or streaming, I've just recently started doing this. Whenever I'm recording myself or outside in public, like painting or something, I'm very aware of like time and like how much I'm using it, like painting or mostly painting. It doesn't take me that long to draw, except yesterday. Yesterday it took forever. Um, but yeah, I'm becoming more aware of how much time it takes me to paint something or to draw something whenever I'm being like watched, quote unquote watched. And I don't like how long it takes. I feel like it takes too long. It could take um, not as long as it is. Like I could save a lot more time if I sped up. So um, something that I used to do a lot. Well, I used to draw a lot, and I feel like I don't draw as much as I used to. But something I used to do was like sketching or drawing with ink, and I used to do that really fast. And I was like proud of how fast I can draw with the ink pen and things. And that was because I was drawing every day. Like I was literally drawing every day. I had sketchbooks and sketchbooks full of um, art, or not even just sketchbooks, but also like notebooks, just full of art. And I was drawing, and I got faster and faster. And then I got into a car accident, and you know, I noticed that when I started drawing again, my hand wasn't like cooperating as well as it was before. And honestly, after I got into the accident, I thought I was gonna lose my ability to draw in my right hand. And so I didn't draw for a very long time. After that, I would doodle like here and there, but I was really afraid of like finding out if I had lost my ability to draw. And in that fear, I just kind of um, actually began losing my ability to draw. So when I started gouache last year, I was just trying to get back into it, and like I was starting my channel over again, and I think her eyebrows don't look good red, so I'm gonna change those to black. But yeah, I was basically going through the motions all over again. I didn't completely lose the ability to draw, thank God, but I did kind of like lose maybe some skills. And I am slowly getting back into that, getting back into um, painting and getting faster and just improving in general. But I don't want to rush myself. I want to let me let me allow myself, you know, to take time. I don't like this earring. I'm gonna just get rid of that. Allow myself to take time to improve. I don't have to do it overnight. I used to think I had to do that overnight, but I don't. I'm gonna take time. I'm gonna actually be more intentional about like how I learn and how I improve. I would like to get faster. That would be great. But I don't have to do it by tomorrow. But I also don't want to procrastinate too much. So when I was drawing this girl yesterday, I had the idea she would have like hot pink hair. This is not hot pink. This is kind of like deep magenta. I don't know, something like that. I actually really like this sketch, so I'm kind of hoping that the drawing will be good. I mean, the painting will be good because the sketch is pretty good. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think about what colors girls wore wore for makeup during that time, but I can't think. So I'm just gonna do blue. I think um, I'm gonna do a blue eyeshadow and of course a red lip. Red lip for sure. But I'm thinking blue eyeshadow was like it was giving prostitute, right? I don't know. I feel like I've heard that before. Like blue eyeshadow was for prostitutes. I don't know how accurate that is. But for her, we're gonna make blue eyeshadow work. Even if it is for prostitutes. And maybe she knows that. But for her, it works. It just works. Okay, she's starting to look like Reba. I'm not hating it. The blue color is good. It's just She is starting to look a little bit like a clown, so let's try to improve this somehow. Add some shading. Blending, shading, I don't know. Add a darker color here. So I'm doing this while it's wet, so it could try to blend in, but I'm gonna go back over it when it's a little bit drier. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of blue purple behind this color. Just a little bit for like a smoother transition, so it's not like completely blue. Her nose is here, so I think I'm just gonna put blush. Yeah, we're gonna do a blush look with the rouge chin. I like that look in general, but I just kind of want to see her with it, see if it works. I like those. I'm going back to character design here, but I like those character designs where they kind of do like several versions of the face and then different color schemes. What was I doing? All right. I say that because, you know, you don't have to just stick to one. You can try several things. So this is kind of why I do the base coat first. I mean, base coat. I keep saying it. The first layer. I really need to stop doing these at night. But I might be like this during the day too. So add something to her ear, nose, cheeks. We can do neck a little bit. A lot of it. I could use a different color to blend this out, but I don't know why. I found it easier to do this way. That way I'm not like blending it out with the color and it's just her skin color and it's just merging together. I've decided to put yellow in her blue, and this might look ugly, but we'll see. Oh wow, it looks green, which is not horrible, but I don't know if it's great either. It looks not bad on camera, so you know what? I'll take that. I'll definitely take that. I've seen videos of artists that will say they spend a lot of time mixing the paint. I forgot who said that, but it was like this guy on YouTube. Like most of the time he's spending painting, he's basically just spending that time mixing the paint. And I think it's good advice However, I don't take it. I feel like I should. I just want to do things super fast, you know, and get it out the way. Mostly because I don't want to stream for like a super long time, and I don't think you can finish like a. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say you can't, but I can't finish like a good painting in uh, 3:45 minutes. I think other people can, but I cannot. Which goes back to the I draw slowly, but that's the way I like it. I like to take my time. This is what I hate about this brush. I don't know if it's obvious, but there's like a split. I would switch, but then I have to paint. I have to dip the brush more often. Let's see. I'm gonna switch to this Namura, and Namura 4. There's no split in the brush. It usually delivers a smooth paint, which is why I like this brush. I think it's one of my favorite ones. I would say other than the fact that it's super small, and the tip is a little long to me. This looks super dark right now, but trust the process. I'm also gonna trust the process. I'm gonna switch back to the synthetic one for her skin tone. So I was gonna go for a light peachy tone, but I think I'm gonna try for like a tanned, like a light tan look. Just because I'm thinking about the times and her style. I'm gonna paint over her eyebrows because I'm gonna change the color of them anyway. This one looks a little bit dull. Yeah, it looks super dull. I'm gonna add some more color to that. You're probably wondering, her blush disappeared. Trust me, it did not. I don't think you can see it on camera, but I can definitely see it in person. I mean, my eyesight is just good because I'm super close to it. For the ear, it did disappear a little bit. And then in the front, it did. Just gone. So now it looks a little patchy. It doesn't bother me right now, but I might end up fixing it later. was trying to add some shadow, but I think I fucked it up. So, yeah, I think I'm done messing some up. I'm just gonna mess it up a little bit more, and then I'll add some half-hearted final touches. Ooh, I'm making this less and less. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this one up. Okay, it has been 53 minutes and I am exhausted. I'm gonna call it a night. I think I need to I need to stop painting in my sketchbook for a while. Doesn't it look a little anime? I like it. Let's get rid of some of those eye sparklies. Oh, I forgot her hair shines. Okay, I'm gonna call it here. It has been fun drawing upside down, but I think we're out of time, so until next time.